Hi, I'm Sarah Beth with Aging in Place Services, and I'm here today with Steve Rice, who's the son of a couple that we worked with here at Mary Queen of Angels. Since the beginning of the year, we've been posting on Facebook about decluttering, organizing services, and downsizing. And I thought today this interview might help you to understand the breadth of our services that we offer as a team and the kinds of things that we do to help families through all of those processes, as well as the process of what we like to funny refer to as death cleaning. So Steve, I'm going to move myself out of the camera and ask you a few questions.
Sure.
Just tell us in your own words a little bit about your family.
Sure. No worries.
We started 5 years ago working with your mother and father, Frank and Isabel, in the planning for moving them here.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about where they were moving from and how long they've been there.
They had been in their home for 60 years. I mean, it was full, it was chock full of stuff, and I remember your team, when I called you in, your team of, I call you angels, your team of angels came in, helped my mom go through all the stuff that needed to go, and keep the stuff that really was important to her memories, but all the other things you guys helped her to get rid of, and that was a big, big process there. So after 60 years of being in one house for that long, so I can't thank you guys enough, because you came in and helped pick what was important to bring to their assisted living. And
We also help them with deciding what furniture to bring and what would fit. And part of our process with that is asking, where do you sit and how do you read, watch television, what are your activities per day? So your dad had this one hobby that he just couldn't bring with him. Would you tell us about that?
Yeah, he loved trains, and he had a whole room full of trains. I mean, a big table that took up a whole room. And you guys were great in just helping him, break that down and get it sold. So, and that was a big deal. It was hard for him to let go, but it was one of those things he had to let go of.
So on the other end, when they were moving them here to Mary Queen, they were moving into a one-bedroom apartment, and it was a fairly good-sized unit. So they had room to bring a lot of their small memorabilia, which I specifically remember a beautiful wall shelf on which she had several little trinkets and knickknacks from their travels, pictures of her nursing career, and then we definitely had to bring some of Frank's pictures of railroad trains and stations to make sure those were in there too.
Well, I remember when he first moved over to the assisted living Mary Queen of Angels, and I walked into the room after you guys had done your work, and it just felt like a miniature version of their home. It felt like, wow, this is really homey. Look at the pictures of the trains and the little cups that my mom had collected over the years from travels, And so it just felt like you'd moved from a bigger home into a smaller home, and it felt like home, though.
And your dad had a collection of records and a stereo that he could not part with. We talked your mother into letting us take the back off of an antique server so that we could hide all that in there and still hook it up to his speakers, and he was thrilled.
Right, you guys were able to troubleshoot a lot of different things like that, especially. So, I mean, it was fantastic. And I was really stressed out at that time because I knew I was going to have to do a lot to help my mom and dad. But actually, when you guys came on the scene, I was able to relax.
So the running joke is that we shouldn't talk about death cleaning, but I wanted to clarify that in relation to your parents, that death cleaning is not about cleaning after death, but about preparing for your death and not leaving it to your children or whoever to do all of it. And I think you and I have talked about that so much, that the first move was the biggest one, but it was the one that gave you maybe the confidence in us to help you as the other moves came forward?
Absolutely. After my dad had passed, you guys came back in to the assisted living here and helped my mom get rid of stuff that was no longer needed, and just it just helped her to kind of move on a little bit, And then when she started having memory problems, you guys came back again and helped her into the memory care unit, which was a smaller unit. So.
And I always went by to see Frank and Isabel in their first apartment because they were always so much fun. Your mom was always downstairs. She was working with the retired nurses group and always active. After Frank passed, we made a very important move to always see Isabel and say hi to her when we were here. Delightful, fun,
Yeah.
beautiful little lady.
Yes.
As I watched her memory leave her and watched you suffer through that, I was so blessed that you called me when she was assigned hospice and asked us to help you with cleaning out their things after she passed.
Well, of anything, you guys helped all the way along, all the different stages, but the one that helped me the most as just an individual, because I was by myself, you know, I'm the only child really basically. And anyway, I'm the only child here in Tennessee, I should say. And so you guys came in and just helped everything that was in the room. You guys helped me sort out what I wanted to bring with me and what we wanted to give to charities. And that's another thing I like about your company is you'll give things to charities that need it, you know. And like the women's shelter, I think, is one of them. And so that's another plus to me. I felt good giving stuff to the women's shelter and
Ladies of Charity, we took our clothing there.
All
yes.
the different things. And then consigning too. I know there was a few articles that I didn't want and you consigned them, so I appreciate that too. So.
Well, that helps pay back for our services as well. But
yeah.
I know that your mother was heavily involved in the community here, and I wanted to give you options and choices of where these things could be best used as opposed to just given away. And I think that's one of the things we try to do. So in summarizing, is there anything else that you'd like to tell about?
Well, I just highly recommend Sarah Beth. Her team of angels will come into your place and literally help you. What you think is an impossible task, they'll help you do. So I just want to say thank you to Sarah Beth and highly recommend her. And it's a great team of people. So.
And Steve was an angel for coming in today and doing this, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
Good.